Random Void.
Oh, yeah, I went to the introductions. After we had to come in right.
Yeah.
And so, any introductions? Let's see. You guys pretty much know us already, but I'll do it all again because for the new people. Hello.
Hello.
So I am Loopy, like I said before, and I love movies. I love books. I love stories. I love fantasies. I love living in my own head. I so now I'm going to talk about it. So yeah. As you can see, um, based off of what we're showing you right now, we all movie fanatics, and we go from pop culture
Mm-hmm.
to the most unpopular things. I liked Wild Wild West. I don't know
Right.
why y'all didn't like it.
Right.
It
So,
was funny. It was
The Golden
hilarious.
Child, one of my favorite movies, slammed by the critics.
what you said there?
It was very funny. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was supposed to be funny. It was supposed to
Yeah.
be a comedy,
Yes, it was.
and I'd rather see Will Smith in that than Matrix, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we're just a different set of people with different set of thoughts, and if you want to come join and listen to our thoughts and join into the conversation via the chat, that's great. Now I want to let them introduce the rest of the table or people or crew introduce themselves as they see fit. Starting with any, meeny, miny, mo, Adair.
What's happening? This is Adair, aka Adaro, aka new author, aka photographer, aka videographer,
Yeah.
aka the man about town. What's happening, everybody?
The names. All right now.
You funny.
All right. Was I supposed to go more than that? I got a couple like more
Yeah.
Yes.
AKAs if you need. Well, okay. Let me stop doing AKAs. Okay, well, I just released my first book, Concentric Relations, Unknown Ties. Hopefully, you guys will go out and check it out. Get a copy, get your e-copy on the Kindle app, and give me some reviews because that's my baby, and I want to see if y'all like my baby. Um, and then also, I'm a new author, as I said, with the Midwest Creations Publishing. Yes, and I'm just excited. All right, I think that's it.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Mama Tay is what Luffy's trying to call me. I've been Coach Tay, Mama Tay, just Tay. As Luffy said earlier, I am many things, a mental toughness basketball coach for middle school players for over 20
Grr.
years. Be mentally tough, more like life skills. That's what it's really about. And I also love books and movies, and I also happen to be Loopy's mother, so I may be the cause of said loopiness. That might be on me. Okay. But mostly, like Loopy said, we love movies. I'm also a published author with two series out. I have the Valley series, and then I have the Brainwaver Universe that currently has two books and a novella, which will be publishing in an anthology. Wavering Minds, Wavering Winds is the novella in between the two books, and the second book is Wavering Lies. So I'm excited to be here with Loopy. We're about to talk some stuff.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to, get some people to join into our conversations and hear what they have to say.
All right.
What
All
you
right.
like?
All right.
Alright. So what we're gonna do this episode is called "Vengeance Shall Be Ours."
Shall be mine in the serpent voice of Eddie Murphy from Mulan.
This vengeance shall be ours.
Oh,
We're more than ours.
but we're one, so we can say mine.
Okay, so it's a play off the quote from
Hmm.
Mulan. Mushu, vengeance. He goes, "Vengeance shall be mine." So
Yeah.
each, I like titles. I like making good titles. What can I say? But basically, this episode, that name to me fits the entire episode, and we're gonna discuss Mama Tay's, one of Mama Tay's authors, Chantay M. James.
Yes, my alias Chantay M. James is the alias for my Brainwaver series, and that is my sci-fi. What author Adair here calls spooky? You call it spooky? You call it, or
Well,
I said,
we're not,
I
we're
believe
not
I
to that
said
yet. We
creepy.
ain't on that yet.
Okay, so anyway, it's creepy but fun, full of suspense and laughter. If you like to laugh, if you like stuff out of the ordinary,
We're not
that's
on
me.
there yet.
Oh, I thought you were
No, I was going. I'm doing an overview.
Oh, sorry, my bad. She's doing an overview.
So we're gonna touch on the waiver and we're gonna touch on the brain waiver series. We're gonna touch on the movie Us. Momma Tay's gonna break that down for us. Let us know where Jordan Peele went wrong.
Right.
And let's see, Adair's gonna break down the brain waiver series. I do believe spooky was used to describe a lot of it. And creepy. And I'm going to break down the biggest crash of my life that matters. The great Avenger crash of 019. I say 019 because it sounds like more fun for me. It's 2019. 019. Okay. Anyway, so
Wait, did you see a preview of that or something?
What?
Did you see a preview of it or something?
What?
Oh, okay. I'm like, wait a minute, I missed something. Oh, but I got
she's talking about the great crash of 2019. You'll understand what she goes into.
Yeah. Okay.
And I was just gonna. Well, I'll wait till we get to that part.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're gonna start with we're gonna start from the way beginning. So I run a meetup group. And the meetup group is for A-list AMC members, people who enjoy being a part of the A-list program. There are some people in the group that aren't a part of the A-list, but they enjoy AMC movie theaters. So I take their money because I'm telling them, hey, I'm getting tickets when Avengers pre-sale goes on sale Tuesday morning, April 2nd. I say, so if you guys want to go, give me your money if you ain't got A-list. If you do have A-list, I'll post my seats as soon as possible, but don't wait for me. Because they're going to be moving. So fast forward, Tuesday morning to Monday night. I am up all night Monday night. I am up pretty much all night Monday night. I am refreshing just in case they're supposed to come early. After midnight, I'm refreshing and I'm waking up every half hour. Okay, I get to my 6:30 mark Central Time, and I refresh and refresh is still not there. And then I get to 6:45, refresh, still not there. The minute it turns 7 o'clock and I refresh, it pops up, and I'm like, yeah, I'm ready. I've been up all night for this. I just want confirmation in my seats. And I go with this one theater because it's reserved seating, so I don't have to wait in line for 4 hours. Because I'm that person where you get to the movie theater and you think you're the first person to get in line. You're not. It's me. And I hold it for my whole crew. So
hold it down.
So I go to get the tickets. I'm picking out the seats. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, people beat me. They already got their seats picked out. Look at that. All right, we take these right here. Take these. So we get the seats. And I'm proceeding to check out. And then there's an error. I'm like, well, let's talk about this. Okay, somebody got those seats before me and it just didn't load. Let me go back. Went back, error. Went back, error. Went back, won't load. Went back, won't load. I said, okay, all right. Don't get nervous. There are other sites. You don't have to do it directly through AMC. Your A-list works on everything. Yes, it does. Okay. So I go, okay, let's go with Adam. Let's try Adam. Can't get through. Not loading right. Okay. Fandango. All right, let's do some Fandango. I'm not a huge fan of Fandango, but let's do it.
Fandango.
So I get on Fandango's website. I'm going, and then nothing's loading, and then it puts me in a line, in like a waiting line, and I get there and then it's still not loading right, and I'm trying everything. I'm on AMC thing looking at it, and everybody's saying the site's crashed, everything's crashed, everything's down. I can't get my Avengers tickets. I can't get my Avengers tickets. I can't get my, and I'm like, I can't get my Avengers tickets. And I'm mad because I waited all night, and your site crashes. And not only does it crash, is I can't even log into my AMC account.
Oh no.
Boom, boom, boom.
So hours from 7 a.m. all the way to 10 a.m. I'm trying this. Finally, I called the theater. I said, hey, what's going on? They were like, oh, he was like, well, I guess the guy at the movie theater was like, I guess it should be up soon. So, and he just left that hanging. So, and I'm like, so is there another way to purchase tickets? Well, I guess you could come in and purchase them. Okay, well, I would definitely do that when you guys open. We open this afternoon at noon. He said at noon. And I said, okay. I said I have an A-list membership, which means I don't pay for my ticket because I pay over $20 a month to get 3 movies a week. And he said, oh, you're trying to pay with that? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I think really you have to do that online. I think you should do that online. I said, the site's down. I said, AMC is really screwing its A-list customers right now, and we pay for this. Oh, well, I guess, I mean, you could come in and do that. We'll work it out. We'll figure a way to get your A-list on there. Thanks. Bye. Get there. There's a few people in front of me. There's about 4 people in front of me. And I'm not used to people being in front of me. But I was so mad, I almost didn't go. So
terrible.
Huh?
That's terrible.
Yeah.
It was terrible. And I get there, and it's not 12 that they open. It's 12:30.
Oh.
So
nice.
we're just waiting and waiting. And I'm like, they're really just employees are going in and out and just going in and out and just watching us stand out here. And I'm like, your site crashed. And you're just going to leave us out here. No, hey, come in early. But eventually someone decided to let us in 10 minutes early. Anyway, so we go in, we get our tickets, and I'm excited. And I feel secure now because I have my spot. And I got my tickets for 6 p.m. Thursday night. I will be in my seat. It is reserved. Momma Tay will be in her seat. It's reserved right next to mine. We don't play. We will be there.
So the moral of this story is LoOpy will get her tickets.
I always get mine.
Nothing will stand it. Not the great crash of 2019 or anything else. LoOpy will get her tickets.
And that was the great crash. But I was really upset with the way AMC handled that. I am a very
that was a little blasé, wasn't it?
I'm a very, very big AMC fan. Oh, yeah, and I love their A-list program. But their customer service has always been terrible.
Terrible.
And they didn't even address anybody. They didn't, even on their Facebook and Twitter pages, like they responded to people that were upset, but they didn't send out a statement apologizing.
You know, usually I see something in ads or on Facebook or social media, something addressing the fact that several websites crashed due to the rush for tickets. It's just amazing that we haven't really heard anything about it, about the crash. I'm wondering how people are going to address or justify not being prepared for the amount of sales that would hit them as soon as people were able to purchase those tickets.
See, my thing is the fact that they didn't acknowledge it. The fact that people were in such a rush and hurry that they were scared they weren't going to get their seats, so they went and bought tickets. A-list members went and bought tickets and paid $20. I know the prices. I looked at them. I said, I'm not doing it. I said, I already pay over $20.
Mm-hmm.
I pay over $20 a month for you to work.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't work, you owe me an explanation if you don't keep the end of your contract. Because if I cancel you, I can't restart you for another 6 months.
Wow. That changed.
Well, sounds to me like nobody wanted to admit that they got caught with their pants down. And then and then the other side, they were like, well, we've been letting them get in on these movies. We're gonna force them to go and buy some tickets outright. That's what it sounds like to me. But that's just me.
Someone said that.
I think it honestly was really just that we're not prepared for the number of people that would hit that system. And because it wasn't just AMC. It was Fandango.
But everybody else was right back up. AMC was down the longest.
How long is the longest?
They were down for a good 4 or 5 hours.
Wow.
Everyone else was right back up. You could go on Fandango and purchase for every other theater.
But don't they
AMC
have
theaters.
contracts with their AMC A-listers that says that they'll have a certain amount of reserved seating available for movies? Like, you can't buy tickets for those.
I don't know.
But
I'm thinking is the reason why they crashed the hardest is because they're the most popular. They have that program that a lot of people take advantage of.
Right.
So because they have that program, you got your A-list members trying to get in, plus you got your regular moviegoers trying to get in all at once. Mm-hmm. And bam. But honestly, I don't think they cared about being prepared because you're going to get your ticket no matter what.
Right.
Maybe it's time for someone to write a really strong review.
Oh, a review
on
gas.
On the Facebook page, because when you when you blast them on Facebook, they contact you.
Mama.
Yeah, they'll cancel your account.
No, Momma Tay, no.
They won't.
No, I'm telling you that I am one. I put 2 posts on their Facebook page telling them how crap they were, and other people were posting on them. They didn't respond to almost quite none of them.
Everybody should just cancel.
Right, that's an option.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, I already said I would. I said we already not gonna cancel, and they know that.
But I hate to go here, but that's the bigger thing. When we have these types of issues, the companies are like, they gonna pay their money because we letting them see movies for a little bit of nothing. So we ain't worried about it. But if a large group of people say, "Oh, really? Well, let's just cancel, and I want you to give me my last payment back," I bet there will be a response.
From now on. Yeah, you'll pay more money for movies, but in all honesty, how many movies do you see in a week anyway? Because you're paying $20 a month for 3 movies a week. So let's round that out to a 4-week month. That's what? 3 times 4?
12.
What's that? 12.
Really?
That's just 12.
I mean,
3 times.
It seems like it was bigger. Okay, so that's 12 movies a month. They're not even 12 releases. I'm not gonna. Chances are I'm gonna see one movie at least 3 or 4 times in that month, if not 5.
What would be a good addition to the AMC A-list?
What?
The AMC A-list programming is instead of using one of your movies, you can have a guest pass. So you can have a guest pass option or the movie option. And when you go see a movie, you could take one guest with you, and that counts as one of your movies have been seen.
Yeah, they ain't gonna do that. But that would be great.
Because they want that. They like you paying the $20 a month. We want them to pay full price. And if we give it to you as a gift, then we're not making that cheddar.
Well, see, when I purchase my tickets, I don't get a service fee. So if I get my tickets and say I get Momma Tay ticket, I can use my rewards to buy it, which add up really, really quickly. I get rewards every time I go, just from the popcorn stand. Mm-hmm. So they upgrade your popcorn. If you get a medium, they automatically upgrade that to a large. There are a lot of really good benefits with this A-list.
Yeah.
So I don't get a service fee, and I get cheaper tickets. So
I hear you.
It's good for now until I see something better, and because right now they didn't make me mad.
Yeah.
But I think I didn't complain and ranted enough about this.
Moving on.
The Great Crash of 019.
I like that.
That's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, I'm in agreement. Sometimes it needs a competitor needs to come out with something else to make them realize that.
Oh, MoviePass tried. MoviePass did it
do.
first. Actually, MoviePass was making the market on it because they were the only one that were really doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And then AMC said we can do better.
Well, they did, but now it's because somebody else going to come along and say I can do better than that, and they will. And as soon as that happens, all of these old sites will come up again, and then people will make their decision of whether staying with you or somebody else. So I would encourage them as an investment to keeping their future patronage to address the issue.
In AMC, it wasn't hard. A MoviePass was ground up. AMC, it wasn't hard because they already had a platform. Mm-hmm. They already had their foundation. Mm-hmm. So to start the A-list, it was nothing but getting a marketing team together and rolling that out.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not gonna pick at your A-list. I'm just a simple Stubbs member. I remember when they first came out with the AMC card. I don't remember what it was called initially, and I was excited. And then when I moved down here to H-Town, and things changed, and I went in there and I was like, "Here's my movie watcher." That's what it was, movie watcher card. And they were like, "What's that?" And I was like, "What do you mean?" They were like, "Oh no, you have to sign up for this." I'm like, "So my points from my old AMC stuff doesn't transfer?" Nope. I was like, So I'm not mad at you for the A listing, but I was like, they keep asking me every time I go and I look at them like they're crazy. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna pay you $20 a month. I can't do it. But that's just me. Sorry.
And totally understood. It totally is understood.
Especially with a newborn. I ain't been to. Well, we actually snuck off to the movies yesterday. Thank the Lord. But but it's been a little difficult to go to the movies, and I'd be mad. I'd be like, "Can I suspend y'all payment until I decide I want to go again and then start it back up?" And
like
they'd be like, "Nope." Right. And they'd be like, "Nope." We're like, "Oh, well, go on and cancel then," because I stopped paying memberships at gyms because I wasn't able to go regularly. So, that's just me.
I feel you. All right,
well, can we say that we are living in a time of subscriptions, though?
Yep.
We really are.
I love my I have way too many subscriptions.
She really does. You really do.
They add up to like $50 to $100.
She really does. I think that amount of subscriptions is a little bit overboard.
I feel like I want
it. and so yeah,
but you know
I
what?
got the Amazon Prime. I got that. And I'm not mad at people who kind of coast in on your Netflix and your I'm not mad at them for finding a way to consolidate streaming on television and usage, but at the same token, I think that there's just too much. I don't need Hulu, Netflix, and Stars, and I barely watch basic cable. I barely watch any of it. So why are we paying all of when I like my movies, I'm on that demand. Most likely. More often than not, I'm on demand or I'm streaming off of my Amazon. And I may want something on Netflix because they'll get it quicker. And I tend to buy my movies as well, especially all my Marvel movies. I buy those. So I'm just not, I just don't see why all of these subscriptions are necessary.
I'm ready for Disney. I'm like, oh.
Because everybody wants their pocket to be filled up. That's why all the subscriptions are there. Nobody wants to allow you to have the freedom to just go, okay, I just want to buy this one. No, they want that continuous stream of money from you.
But that irks my soul because with Amazon, you've already got Amazon Prime. Now you give me some music and then it's like, oh, I want this song. Oh no, you must have music unlimited. Seriously? Yep. Like you're not getting enough money from me with Amazon Prime?
Nope.
Now you must have unlimited. Oh, you want to read this book? You've got to have books unlimited.
What's that stupid commercial? I want it all. I
I'm like,
want it all. That's all it is.
I want it
as
now.
long as YouTube streams stuff for free and I ain't gotta pay for it, I will be if I want to hear it that bad, I'll watch the video on YouTube and call it a day.
Hey, YouTube, they gotta pay. They got a pay subscription, and they got movies that you got to pay for on there too.
But they also, if I can pull up a movie, if I want to hear Michael Jackson, I want to rock with you right now, I can pull that up on YouTube and play it.
Oh, I still have my old Michael recording, so.
All right, so I think we beat this dead horse dead. We brought it back to life, resuscitated it, ran it around the track.
We can pass that. We're talking about subscriptions now.
Okay, but that's not part of the program, so what's
Yes,
next?
it is.
Is it?
Yeah, it's my filler topic.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got it. You didn't look at the thing.
I did look at it, but I didn't look at it recently. So, okay.
Excuse me, y'all. We had a mother-daughter moment. Okay, so anyway, this is a good point to go into what Adair is going to be talking about, and I think he was pretty eager to get into this.
Breaking down some waverings.
So
break it down, with my brother. Break it down.
All right. Okay. Wavering, the brainwave universe is an awesome universe.
I need you to stop using the Donald Trump voice. Stop using Donald Trump voice.
Okay. Sorry.
Donald Trump, I do not want him talking about any of my material.
Okay. Okay. So sorry about that. Hold on. Get him out of there. Yeah. All right. So the brainwave universe. I really am excited for the third book. I just read 1 and 2, and I read the novella. So the first book, Wavering Minds, is an awesome story. If you haven't picked up your copy, you need to go on Amazon and order your copy because it really touches on some of the things that are constantly speculated about today. Corporate control, greed. I mean, just the corporate greed, all that is kind of in this, but definitely because it's a faith-based story, it has a faith element woven throughout. And so I really enjoy the story. I love the characters. They are hilarious. Some of them are very hilarious. Some of them are very serious. And so I don't know. What's my old geezers? They are the creepy old men that your mama always told you to be on the lookout for. Like, that's the people when you see them, you say stranger danger. That's what they remind me of. They like that, the nasty old man. That's who they remind me of. And they also remind me of like some people I've run across in my own lifetime that just, they had a little sweat on their nose. They look like they up to something, but you can't, you just see them from a distance. So you're not sure, like, okay, are they looking at me? Is this, are they, so that's, I mean, that's my 2 cents on, just to get us started on that. But I like, and I sometimes I struggle with keeping everybody in the right place.
You do. So tell me the difference between Celine and Balboa. That's book 1 and book 2. These two ladies. What would you say?
Really? Are you guiding his review?
Are they different?
Well,
no, not the review. I'm just asking them questions.
Okay.
Well, listen. I'm just gonna be real, and I done told Tay about this because what I do is I get so caught up in the story that sometimes I forget who it is, and then I go, oh wait, oh that's the other person. Now I thought this was so and so. So I'm not mad at her for helping me on that. So to me, okay, Balboa is like, in my mind, she's like this really, really, really pretty, like kind of petite young lady, but like she will break you down like real quick, and like and it doesn't care really about your size. Like your size don't mean nothing. Like what? Let me just take you out real quick.
Yes.
for messing with my people. Now on Celine's side, now Celine. So that's Samantha's mama.
Yes.
Right? Okay. Yeah, I just trying to make sure I had it right. I love Celine tickles me because, as I told you, her little editor is who in my mind is that little red firehead man in Inside Out. That's who
Yeah.
I see in my mind when I read and there's the mention of the editor. That's who I see. I don't know what anybody else sees, but it always made it funny to me when she was looking at him or talking to him in her head. It was really hilarious. But she's very funny to me. But what I liked was the fact that when she kind of I guess we say kind of came in her own, it was just kind of like, you know what, it's time to go to work. But it wasn't with the same, not like Balboa. Like Balboa is like cutthroat with hers.
Yeah.
Whereas Celine's is more like I'm really just gonna make you back up. You just need to back up off my people. Whereas Balboa, like I will take you out for my people if I have to. Like no big deal, and won't break a sweat about it. Won't even think about you afterwards.
Not even a little bit.
Yeah. And so, but I liked Sam, and I definitely like. I don't know. We always had these discussions. I don't know if you're gonna do anything with Samantha, the daughter.
The daughter,
but I don't know if you're gonna do something with her down the line. But I liked her quality. Her innocence was really cool. Like I definitely saw a kid. Like it wasn't a pretend kid. I felt like my friend. We have a friend that doesn't stay far from us, and she has a daughter probably around her same age, and it just really reminded me of her. Like just the way she acted and stuff throughout the story. And then Sam was hilarious in his alpha maleness. I'm just like, really, dude, calm it down just a little bit.
Adair has a problem with our direct alpha males in our books because to him it's like you would want to ask and not tell a woman. But
I don't know. As a woman, I kind of like to be told.
See, you say that, but it depends on the situation and the topic.
This is true.
Exactly.
But if you're telling me something like you're mine and no one else can have you, yeah, I want to be told that. I want to hear that.
You get them dozy eyes.
I hear that, but on the same token of that one,
because that's my place, we got problems. But it depends on the topic of what you're telling me.
Right. And then also when I hear when it's ended with and no one else can have you, then that takes it to a whole different place for me. I'd be like, ooh, that sounds like a kind of stalkerish, lock you up in the closet.
And keep in mind, they gotta know that you're already invested. You're already emotionally invested in this person for them to be able to say something like that to you. I don't know you from Adam, and you walk up to me and say you're mine, and no one else can have you. Okay, I don't know you. I'm not invested. This is not gonna work.
Stalker.
Yeah, exactly.
I want to be stalked, but I'm creepy, so
yeah, that is. I don't want to be stalked. But I do think that most women out here will agree, even if we're the independent, I did it myself woman, we'll agree that if we had a choice between a man that would say, would you like to marry me? A man that we're in love with would say, would you like to marry me? Or the man that we're in love with saying, you're marrying me. You're mine. We would want the second one, I think.
Oh yeah, just put the ring on me in my sleep like he did in that Tyler Perry movie, Diary of a Mad Black Woman. Just put the ring on her in her sleep. You know what? I'm a hard sleeper. Let's not do that. I take it back.
Up in the face. Your face all scratched up. Go fall and cat in their sleep.
Better hope you don't jerk in your sleep.
Right.
So yeah, I take it back.
So,
yeah, I mean,
Thank you for that very honest review, and y'all, it is honest. He told me. He told me some things that he would like to see in the future as well. So
Hey, but
we'll,
I don't want to take where you're going. I'll tell you that much because I enjoy the build up, I enjoy the characters. And as we got into the second book, which I'm not gonna give anything away, but but thank you for pointing out what's the way I can say it without giving it away? The retriever. Thanks for pointing that out because I was like, oh, oh, I didn't realize that's who that was. So yeah.
yeah. And just so you guys have an understanding, there's book one, which is Wavering Minds. Wavering Minds is Celine and Sam's book. And Celine is where it all begins, where the story begins in Alton, Illinois. And the premise is simply this: what if there was a software that could allow you to do whatever you wanted to do, but someone didn't tell you that they could control you with it? So now you have Celine, who's won a contest to have this software inserted into her brain. Something she doesn't want. So we get to follow her, the progression of her story, and the kids in Alton that tended to come up missing because of this thing, to the culmination. And then you've got we've got the novella, which is Wavering Winds, and that ties up a lot of book one and what's going on at the beginning of book two. Book two is Balboa, and Max Balboa is Celine's best friend and one of Sam's best friends. But she became Celine's best friend when she met her in book one. She's tough. She's rowdy. She's gone from a lieutenant in a gang into the military, and now she's a defense weapons consultant, an engineer. And she's very excited about what she does because she succeeds in a man's world, and she does it on purpose while wearing lace.
She cold, man. I'm telling you.
She's a contradiction, a walking contradiction, and she loves being all of that. And Max, who is also in book one, who is your quiet, very nerdy, very attractive computer guy that has his doomsday sensibility or mentality, and he must decide if he really wants to fight for a relationship with Balboa. So you've got these two great books, and in the middle of that, you've got Wavering Wings, Delilah, and KC, and you get to see some things tie up in those. So I hope you guys step out to grab a couple. Wavering Winds is actually free on the website. So if you go to the Midwest Creations website, www.Midwest Creations Publishing, it's Weebly, right? .weebly.com.
I think so. To be honest, just go on Amazon. Most people get their books off Amazon anyway.
The Wavering Winds is not on there because it's free right now.
Oh, okay. You can only sign up for a free book on Amazon, right?
I didn't want to.
Okay. But also the rest of the books, if you have Kindle Unlimited, they're on that as well.
Yes, for all Brainwaver books, they are on Kindle Unlimited.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
So that's Brainwaver. Thanks, Adair, for the review. Appreciate you.
Well, gotta represent. Like I say, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I'm excited to see where you take the next story. Yeah, so I don't really know what else to say. I can say about it. All I can tell people is y'all need to go get it, because if you look at what's going on in society right now, this really falls in line with the way people acting right now.
Going of podcasts once people read it to come on, and to have a close one though, so it doesn't spoil it for those who haven't read it.
Yeah, but you know what? I enjoy stories, and if you enjoy a good story, then chances are you like the Brainwavering series.
Yes.
But I mean, we're all here because we love stories.
This is true.
We have an imagination and enjoys building scenarios.
This is true.
And when I tell you that my head don't stop, there's a scenario for everything. Chances are, if I read your book, I rewrote it in my head 10 times.
By the time we got to the end.
It's just who we are. We love to We love to watch movies. We love to predict the endings. Me and Momma Tay will sit there in the movie theater and talk in the middle of the movie. Sorry, y'all. We will talk, and we would be like, "Oh, this is gonna happen. That's gonna happen."
I'm
And then
throwing
we
my
have
popcorn at y'all.
what you say there?
I'm throwing my popcorn at y'all.
Yeah, and then Luke will look at me and be like, why do you think that's gonna happen? It's because I would have wrote it that way. That's the way I would have wrote it. But we have no idea if it'll be right or not.
It's like a puzzle or not a mystery. We love figuring out the mystery
and
before
breaking
it
down
happens.
the plot. Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
Which kind of leads us into our next thing. Momma Tay is gonna break down us into she's gonna show you the white meat.
Not so bad at breaking down.
Ooh, is there a ham in there somewhere?
Don't be nice.
But what I am going to do is pose those questions that I think that probably a focus group or a group of people should have discussed with Peel before it was released. Okay, because there are a lot of areas, a lot of gray areas that I think that if us were a book first, I would understand them because the explained parts that would be missing due to cuts for time, the parts explaining some parts would be missing, and so you have small holes in the story. So I would get it then because it was a book first, and in order to save time, they would have to make cuts. But this went straight from screenplay to screen.
Well, see, actually, it was inspired apparently by a Twilight Zone episode.
Okay.
Oh, that makes so much more sense since he's coming out with the new Twilight Zone.
To why it makes sense. When someone told me it was inspired by a Twilight Zone episode, it made sense as to why it was just so far off and unexplained. Because there are so many Twilight Zone episodes that you think that you would say this is a plot hole because there's so much unexplained.
I don't know. I used to watch the Twilight Zones, and they were pretty good at filling in plot holes. And tying stories together.
I don't know because I was really little when I watched.
You were very little. Because they were very short, and so you didn't have very big.
To me, I was like, this is creepy and this is stupid.
Wait, but are we talking about the old ones with the old black and whites? Or are we talking about the newer Twilight Zone ones?
Twilight Zone, right? When the boy wished his sister's mouth away. I knew this because I used to wish my brother's mouth away all the time. So
who has thoughts like this? I wish your mouth was not on your face.
Just not on your whole face.
Oh wow.
Your whole mouth goes.
I've had thoughts of wishing to drop kick people all the time. I just don't do it.
I believe that. Now, so getting into us, my first thing is that first, kudos to Peel as always. I think. There may have been a small amount of disappointment because so many of us compared us to his first movie, right? I mean,
I didn't see Get Out.
I gotta tell you, without a doubt, Get Out was probably the most riveting.
That movie was a trip.
It was riveting and it was unexpected, and I wasn't gonna see it because of the reviews. And it was the review of a comedian that had me laughing so hard I had to see it, where he said, any movie where you see a black man running around in circles in a house with his eyes wide open, he said, it's time to go. Don't even ask questions. You just leave. And
that took 8 years for him to write, 7 or 8 years.
See, and you could tell. Now, and this is what I mean. You can tell the time that he took to get out written because he was so meticulous in the detail, in the characterizations, in the building of the characters, in the buildup of the story, in the suspense, all of that. So it's not that Us was bad. It's just that in comparison to Get Out, it was not good, right? If it had been Us released first, it'd have been, okay, that was pretty good. And then Get Out would have been, well, Us was good, but that was amazing. But because it came out in the order that it did, Get Out first, which was amazing, that was really good, and Us, not good. Even though, like I said, it wasn't bad, it just in comparison to Get Out. So let me get into it first. there are a lot of unanswered questions, things that don't make sense to the viewer. I don't want to give away the big spoiler about the end because Adair hasn't seen it yet.
Hey, I don't care. I mean, I'll go see it anyway eventually at some point. And I might wait till it hits Amazon Prime. I don't know.
Yeah. So, but I want to get into some serious things. It starts off with a basic little You know how Star Wars starts out with that marquee of story background,
Mm-hmm.
which a lot of movies have done in the past. Instead of spending the time to show you what's happened in the past, we're just gonna write a little blurb at the beginning of the movie, so
Okay.
it gets up to where we're at. So it starts with this little preface about tunnels and about people living in tunnels, and you really don't know how he's gonna tie this into the movie. But you do understand that it has something to do with tunnels. That said, you don't see a tunnel until near the very end of the movie, when you're at that what we call the explanation phase, where you're getting the information about everything that has happened prior. Now you're getting this download of information about these tunnels and who these people really are as they tell their story. But what he neglects to show is the continued relationship between the U.S. government and these people that were created. He neglects to show that if that relationship is still intact. You mentioned that it went away. Then where are they getting the money for food? Where are they getting if they are shadows, as you say they are, and they are tied to their person, then how is it that they've ever become free to do anything else? It was just so many questions in this movie. It was too many for me to feel comfortable to give us a good review. One thing I am is that I know that there are going to be one or two plot holes. I found a couple in my own work. And that's why I go back. That's why people write novellas, y'all. Because we go back. Sometimes we go back to fill in plot holes, to fill in story gaps, as we call it. Things that were missing or things that we didn't tie up neatly in the last book. And there are a few things that I didn't tie up neatly in Wavering Minds that I felt Wavering Winds could address, and it did. With us, there would have to be a lot to tie up the loose ends. He left us very curious about these people, these tunnels, their clothing, how things were obtained, how was food obtained, what made you the leader, what made you so special that they all said, I am attached but not attached. How did they become unattached? I don't understand any of that. And because it left me with so many questions, I have to say that if I were going to give Get Out an A+, Us would be a D. It would be a D. There were too many other, and it's not because it wasn't a good movie. It's because he did not take the time to develop the story enough to tie up those loose ends.
Okay,
because there were way too many.
Okay, question.
Yeah.
And it's just off shot in the dark. Do you think that the way it was done could possibly be so that he can make the sequel and it be called Them?
I would have said that if the end didn't give such a bleak. Have you seen Adair movie? Mickey, what's it? Zombieland?
I already wrote in the descriptions. I got in the title. It's spoiler. I say there's going to be spoilers in this.
Okay, Adair, have you seen Zombieland?
Yeah, that's Woody. Wasn't that Woody out? Not Allen Harrelson. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie. Do you remember how that ended?
No, I don't. I mean, I thought there was supposed to be a sequel coming.
There is, and I have no idea how they're going to do that sequel because the way that ended, it actually kind of ended with a promise that there was another place where people might actually be, but it didn't inspire a lot of hope, and that was pretty much kind of it. So a sequel is unexpected. Not that the sequel was not doable with us, okay? Because I told Mickey my biggest question was where they get the scissors from.
Okay, I've seen that in the
Where
previews.
did I get the scissors from? Where did these scissors? Who made these scissors? Did you see those scissors? Those ain't scissors that you get at Walmart. You can't go. You cannot go to a seamstress shop to buy those kind of scissors. Where do you get those scissors
I don't
from?
know. I think one of my biggest concerns, not even concerns, was a little annoyance, is I feel like he made it too easy. Like he tried to put a whole bunch of deeper meaning in it, but he wanted one thing to be easy for you to figure out. And that one thing that he wanted for you to figure out happened at the beginning when she was in that fun house. Yeah. And everybody that's seen the movie know what I'm talking about. When she was in a fun house and she got lost as a child. He wanted you to know, like, if you have any plot or story intuition, before 20 minutes into the movie, what's going to happen at the end, what they're going to tell you at the end. And so then the rest of it was meant to be some deeper meaning that you were supposed to grasp. Well, and I was so like, I didn't get that. I didn't get it from that. And then,
and I just want to address it. It's so like dismiss it immediately because it's so simple.
Right. I'm thinking he's not going to be that obvious about it, but he is. He is that obvious about it. And then there's an incident that could explain the biggest plot hole that Momma Tay has an issue with. There's a necklace involved that was taken off her neck. Mm-hmm. That can explain it, but we don't really know.
He left it there. So, and to give the people who love stories a little heads up, what you call is a mirror moment. A mirror moment is in a storyline when somebody comes to grips with the fact that they've got to change or die. They've got to change or die, and usually there's a symbol of this transformation. So what LoOpy is talking about is that this locket you see is basically a symbol of a possible transformation and could give clues that could be used to fill up some of the story gaps. And he left those story gaps unaddressed, and he just left that mirror moment hanging. You really don't know what anybody learned at the end of this movie. You don't really know who won or who lost. You don't know. There's no culmination here. There's no hero.
What the heck was that?
Well, I'm gonna say, just from all the confusion, I'm definitely gonna go see it. Just because for me, I don't know. For me, I don't always like the nice and neat ending. And then sometimes I like it depending on the way the story progresses. So I probably will get a kick out of this, and I'll probably come back and do another follow-up review.
It doesn't have to be a nice ending. It just has to be an ending that's complete.
It has to be something that ties it all together.
Tie it all together.
If you don't tie it all together at the end, it's just like random things happening.
I mean, it does leave no open door.
See, that's kind of how I felt about Pulp Fiction. People like, you don't like Pulp Fiction? No, it's the dumbest movie on the
planet. I will disagree with you on that one. I'm going to disagree with you on that. Pulp Fiction was hilarious, and it did make sense once you realize. No, once you realize that the stuff was out of sequence, then it made much more sense.
Pulp Fiction, to me, it was dumb. It was pointless. There was no real plot to me.
Again, I think what LoOpy and I enjoy are movies or books that obviously have a victor and obviously have a loser. I need somebody that wins. I need a battle to be continued, and something else I know I'm going to tune into with the sequel. But what I can't have is all of these loose ends, and you really don't even know by the end of the movie who the good guy was.
It's not even that. I don't care about having a victor or a loser. I care about. I don't like randomness. Like, it's just random. I feel like if you take a whole bunch of random scenes and put them together in a movie, and you don't tie that together, then to me you failed at making a movie. This is just random. It's like what do they call that when you mix multiple things together? No, it's kind of like a collage. Well, video. Adair, what's a video version of a collage? It's like, say if I was to mix a whole bunch of cartoons together from the 90s and just give you quick little scenes from each one of them.
Snippets?
I don't know, but it's like taking snippets and then putting it together, 90 minutes worth. And that's what I felt like Pulp Fiction was. And that one of the snippets may connect to the other snippet, but it's not going to connect to this snippet over here.
Is that a culmination?
No, but that's we can, yeah, there you go, compilation. Yeah, but and we can talk about that on another episode. We can do a deep delve into the realm that is Pulp Fiction, because I can tell you the first time I saw it, when I first watched it, I was like, "What the H is going on?" Wait, didn't this person die already? How were they here? And then I went back and watched it a second time at home, where I could rewind and go, oh, okay. So that goes, okay, then it's, okay, and then it all made sense. But I understand what you're saying, because the first time I saw it, I thought this movie's terrible, and then when I figured out what the director actually did, then it made sense to me. So then I was able to follow it, understand what happened, and get and be able to say, okay, that was pretty cool. That was an interesting way to do a movie. I hadn't seen that done in like.
I have to be honest with both of you. I've never seen it. I've seen pieces of it, but I've never been interested in it per se.
Oh, Momma Tay, we got to do a movie night. We watch Be Cool and Get Shorty afterwards. Okay. Oh, by the way, we got some good podcasts coming up for you guys. Let's see. Next week, we're diving into concentrics
relations, unknown ties.
All right.
That's Adair's book.
And I get to review that one.
Okay.
Be gentle, please.
And we gonna have a little bit of a Johnny Travolta thing, because I don't know if you guys have ever seen this movie. All of us have, or any people watching, but
which one?
John Travolta got this movie. Two movies. One is called Get Shorty, and it came out in like the 90s.
Oh gosh, yes. Him, Danny DeVito, and who else was in it? James Woods. Yeah.
And then that's it. What okay?
No, I was trying to remember which one was which. That's the one where he was the gangster turned movie producer.
Right.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
He's a Shylock turned movie producer in the first one, and then the second one he's a Shylock turned movie producer turned music producer in the second, which is Be Cool. Oh, yeah. That has The Rock.
Right. Okay.
The Rock. You wouldn't think The Rock could be gay, but in that movie, it shows you how gay he can be.
Well, I think the one who took that movie away was what's his name? Vince Vaughn. Vince Vaughn. Oh my God! When I think.
Wait. We can't talk about it yet.
Okay. So and then Uma, who was in both, Uma Thurman, and
she got a whole song. Fall Out Boy. If y'all ain't heard the song, check it out. It's a song called Uma Thurman. It's Thurman or Thurman?
Thurman
by Fall Out Boy. Ooh, we gotta do a Kill Bill episode.
You gotta do. Oh,
there you go.
I was just thinking Kill Bill.
Oh, so we thank you for listening to us playing episodes.
Oh yeah. Wait. I got one more thing I wanted to.
Oh, no, we not closing. I was just I was letting them know that we know they still there.
Because I was rewatching Age of Ultron today.
Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh, okay.
And I'm always looking at all these little things, the theories about what's happening in the Marvel universe and the End Game and all of that. And so I remember in Infinity War, like everybody latched on to Doctor Strange saying, "We're in the end game now." Right? That's what everybody's latching on to. But in Avengers Age of Ultron, Tony Stark says it first.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
Did he say that too, Tony?
No, Tony said it. Tony says it.
I know Tony said it in Age of Ultron, but I'm saying, did Doctor
Strange doesn't say it until Infinity War.
And now, did he say that directly to Tony?
Yes.
Okay, so you know how weird Doctor Strange is, and you know he's seen all the possibilities, right?
Yep.
Past, present, and future. Most likely, he saw that Tony referenced that and made sure that he said that to Tony, so he knew what that meant.
Yeah, we'll see how it plays out. I just thought it was interesting.
That's a really great tie-in, and that's for Doctor Strange being able to send a message without sending a message. That dude, everything that you feared is upon us. Is upon us. This is it.
Well, see, I'm thinking since I got this Avengers posted up here, let's go beyond AMC crash. Let's break down. Let's go do a quick breakdown because we got time.
We got time.
We early. Let's do a quick breakdown of the last 10 years because it's coming. Yes, yes, it can. You don't know who I am.
Okay, so the first ever Iron Man. What's the first ever Iron Man? Or was the first ever Captain America?
Let me.
Iron Man was first.
Bear with me while I look up the timeline because some people would say.
I believe it was all started with Tony Stark. The
movie started
with Iron Man,
but the timeline is different.
I got you.
So let's see.
Right. So technically, Captain America, the first Avenger.
Was first then, because he was the very, very first Avenger, really, right?
Yeah. Right. For those true movie nerds out there, they gonna pick at us on that. So we got to be specific on where we started.
Look, I don't care.
No, I mean it just is what it is. I mean, people need to understand that Tony Stark is current, and Captain America started back in the day, and he was froze for 50 years. Right. So it just makes, but the whole big connection is it was his daddy started everything because his daddy was the one that came up with the serum.
I would really like a movie on his dad and his dad. And everything that his dad was wrapped up in outside of Captain America because that was boring. Well, the first Captain America movie was boring.
I have to be honest, y'all. I didn't see it. Again,
movie night. Could
you understand?
Oh no, I'm not wasting that many hours on that.
My best friend loves old movies. She loves classic movies. She's a classic movie fan. Like. What's the little girl with the curly
Shirley Temple.
Shirley Temple. I wanted to call her Curly Temple. Shirley Temple and
on the good ship. Yeah,
that one. And now the one thing I could get with her was some Three Stooges. Now we used to watch some Three Stooges, okay? But
John Wayne, the Quiet Man, favorite movie.
And Ma and Pa Kettle, because wow.
What's this got to do with the classic movies?
Okay, so she was into the classic movies and all of that. I could never get into period pieces, not period pieces that far back. So Sense and Sensibility, things like that, Great Expectations, all of those kind of books I whizzed through. They weren't really something that I invested time. Jane Eyre, I didn't care about Jane or her ear. And I just wasn't into it. So Captain America did not appeal to me for a number of reasons, but mostly because half of that movie was a period piece. It was a 1940s kind of.
You just had a Killzone moment, but you tied it together at the end, so you good.
What just happened?
I'm gonna finish this off the air. Anyway, 1940s kind of feel, and because I'm not into classics or classic films. I could not bring myself to watch it. To me, it probably would have been pretty good. It was an origin story. Origin stories aren't known to be as fulfilling as the action we see them getting into as they develop strengths in who they are to become.
There's an origin story, and then there is Captain America. Captain America wasn't just an ordinary origin story. Captain America was the longest movie that was the slowest movie. It was the longest movie on this planet.
Cut it out. Cut it out.
I was like, come on, pick up the pace here. We get it. You're small and helpless. Okay.
I gotta admit, even Captain Marvel started slow as well.
But not that slow.
You
haven't seen Captain America, so you cannot compare Captain America to Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was not nearly as slow or long as Captain America.
Well, now I probably wouldn't like Captain America either because I felt like Captain Marvel was slow. I did like the movie, but it started slow.
Well, this is the thing with Captain Marvel. You knew her in her present, and then got the flashbacks. With Captain America, you knew him in his back in the day, and then you watched him grow. It wasn't a flashback. It was, this is his life, and this is how weak and scrawny and puny, and he got beat up all the time, and but he never gave up. He still, and that was a core thing for his character. So even though there was definitely a lot of slow points, and I think I remember nodding off a couple of times, especially when they got into the what do you call it? The propaganda pieces. I was like, oh my God, if they show another one of these videos, I'm going to claw my eyes out. But once you got past that, it was, and then you learned about the jewel thing from space, which we know now is the Tesseract or something, whatever, then it started, like, things kind of started moving, so I don't know. I mean, for it to be a flashback to an olden timey period, and to show that even in an old time period, they had some technology that they shouldn't have had at the time, it was kind of like, okay, I can see why you need this person to be who he became. And he just happened to look out, to get the lucky straw, basically. Like, hey, here's a scrawny guy. Put him in the Vitamix thing, and shines bright light on him, and he'll just explode into a 225-pound muscle man. It was.
No, we're not going to use him. We're going to put him on a stage and let people clap and look at him.
But as you say this, I can't help but think about Winter Soldier when he's running past.
When he's running past the Red Falcon. Exactly.
On the left. He's like, oh no, you don't. On the left. Oh, that's just hilarious to me. I think that if I had gotten a glimpse of who he was in that movie now, mixed with how he became who he was, that probably would have made it a bit more tolerable, I think, if I were to watch it and that was it. Well, with Gal Gadot, it started off Wonder Woman DC. Now, I know LoOpy is on.
No, we're not talking about DC. Please, let's not talk about DC.
I just wanted to preface this in reference to Captain America. With Wonder Woman, they started off in the present. And then everything else was a memory and a flashback. And I'm wondering if Captain America would have been more tolerable if they had done it in a similar fashion.
They didn't want to, though. They wanted to. Because the whole movie is the whole Captain America movie. It wasn't in nothing was in the present. It was all in the past.
I'm not saying they wanted to. I'm saying I'm wondering if it would have made all of that past more tolerable.
I don't think so, because it wouldn't have connected. As much as I hate that movie, they wouldn't have had the connection and a lot of explanation and backstory for a lot of stuff that went on.
Well, he was the first Avenger, and that runs through all of their movies.
That's what I'm saying. I was just saying that if they were to take a snippet of who he was in the beginning, who he is now, and put a snippet of that there, and then you knew that the rest of this movie is about how he became that.
Oh,
yeah, okay. It probably would have worked better.
That more tolerable.
A flash from the future.
Correct.
Got you.
Right. So like where the movie ended, where the first Avenger ended is where it actually should have began, and then gave you the flashbacks.
Exactly.
And then it would have been better, and then have like a back and forth.
It would have
Because
been
like
more tolerable because it's like this is how you got this is how we got here. Because again, Loopy, close your ears. Because with DC with Wonder Woman, that's kind of what they did with Gal Gadot. They started off with okay, this is how I got here. I don't know why it happened this way, but the world changed, and you see who she is now. And then you see who she was and how she became who she is now, and how that ties into how she and Batman are going to partner up with whoever, right? So now that made that flash of history a lot more tolerable because I met her in the now, and
and
that's all I was saying.
right, they set her up in BV or
Exactly.
BVS, whatever. But but here's the thing that I think where I think they dropped a little bit of the ball at, and it could be because I don't remember a specific, like how in the first Avenger we know that the Red Skull had searched for the Tesseract thing, but there I don't remember. I think there was some brief explanation as to how it came, or it was just some object that people had been talking about. But there needs to be like a definitive. This is how this got to Earth, because in Captain Marvel, we see it, we know it's here, but we also know that it's here as a result of um, um, Captain America's story. But what initially brought it to Earth? Like, how did it end up here in the first place? And that's something that they did not address.
I agree. I have a quick question.
Yes.
Totally off topic, but doesn't the Tesseract kind of remind you guys of the Ring and the Lord of the Rings?
The precious. Captain's precious.
Just a little bit.
All right, moving on.
Just a little bit.
We gotta go. I said real quick. We gotta browse through this. On to Iron Man.
Okay.
Iron Man is what got me into this universe.
Yes.
Iron Man is my favorite Avenger out of all of the Avengers. And that's because he not only made the biggest transformation mentally out of all of them, he understands the big picture. And he understands that in a game of chess, sometimes you gotta sacrifice your queen. He understands that, and so that's how he operates. And he's not just thinking about himself anymore. He's operating to do best for the world. And because he learned, I don't know what exactly it is that he learned or what he went through in Iron Man 1 when he almost died, that taught him or gave him this need to protect. I think it was starting off with you using my weapons without my permission against my country, against these people. You using my stuff, my family name, mine. And in the end, that is very selfish, because we're all selfish people in general. I mean, we are. People are selfish. I mean, even if you don't want someone on the street being hungry because it makes you hurt, you want to fix it because it makes you hurt, that they're hurting. So I guess in a way we're all kind of selfish in some way. But for him to just the way, I like the way he operates and the way he thinks. And I like that he understands that he has to move and play along to keep things going, even if he got other plans going on to fix or keep things going in the right direction.
I gotta say, I'm a novice chess player, but I do know that to sacrifice your queen is a last resort, because she is the only one and she is the most powerful piece on the board. You do not want to sacrifice her unless you really, really, really have to. And if you sacrifice that queen, you better have a surefire plan to checkmate your opponent in 1 or 2 moves, or you're defeated. And because your queen is that powerful. So I that's what I said. I'm a novice chess player, so I can honestly say that that's what I know about sacrificing your queen. And I don't really think that in Tony's mind he's ever been sacrificing his queen. I think in Tony's mind he's the most powerful piece on the board. Honestly, I really do. Because you're dealing with a guy who's a genius. And even though he has a narcissistic tendencies, he's not really a narcissist. He's fully aware that the world does not truly revolve around Tony Stark. He knows.
He started out, to LoOpy's point, he did start out as selfish and self-centered, but
All of us.
by the time he the Avengers dropped, at the end, he was willing to sacrifice himself. He didn't think he was gonna survive what he did in the end.
Well, several times he didn't, and several times he put himself on the line. I don't know how we got there. That really wasn't my point. My point was that I don't really think that he ever felt like he was sacrificing the queen. Even when he did put himself, I think that Tony really trusted in not only his tech but his people. But in the end, he really feels like he's got to be the one to do it. It's got to be something that he did. And when he had that vision and Cap said, you could have done more. I mean, that personal responsibility for everyone else. That thing right there.
He funds the whole thing. He technically, they are all his responsibility.
But in his mind, he's responsible for because he has the equipment, the knowledge, the financing. He has everything that he thinks that he needs to ensure people's safety. So even when I think that when he went into the air and he said, yeah, put Potts on the line, and he's going up there and he's thinking he's making a sacrifice. I think there's something in Tony that just trusts in his ability to come out of that he's coming out of that. I don't really think he realizes that he's making the sacrifice. If that's what he's doing. I think that Tony's mind is that I don't ever think that he thought this is it, except now when we get to the trailers, and for the first time they've experienced
Wait. I don't watch trailers.
Okay, so for the first, I'm still talking about the last Avengers. Oh. Then, for the first time, they've experienced a resounding defeat. I mean, he whooped everybody. Okay, he just whooped everybody. They've experienced. At no point in Tony's life has he ever experienced defeat on this level, ever.
And he did everything that he had in his power to do to get to where they were. He did everything that he knew of to do.
Which is probably why you had to have a civil war, because they were very strong together. When you see them in the beginning of Age of Ultron and how well they worked together, how much of a team they were, they had to have a civil war to break them up.
I thought about that. And I was at the end, I was like,
divide they fall. They had to have a civil war to break them up in order for No, the purple dude.
Thanos.
In order for Thanos. I'm so sorry. My own characters are in my head right now. So if it's not one of the books I'm writing, the Haters Prayer or whatever, the names, I'm not keeping them. So anyway.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a funny way to remember him. It might not, I don't know if it'll be appropriate. Nut Chin.
That's bro.
Anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Proceed, please. Sorry.
So Thanos probably could have only come in to defeat them. I mean, just think about it. Thor's people are completely homeless. Thor was not on a ship where it was just him and Loki. Then they could have escaped Thanos. They had a ship full of people. Thanos just resoundingly slaughtered half of them. And where did Valkyrie go? That's my question. She was on the ship when they left.
Okay, you are going way out of order.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, we were going in order.
So,
LoOpy, get us back. Get us back.
She went on a whole tangent.
Yeah, we did skip ahead.
I gotta leave this podcast here, guys. It was so exciting.
We got to like 2 more minutes.
Okay.
So, let's move down to the Incredible Hulk. I didn't see that movie because I really don't like the Hulk movies.
I like
They tend to be boring. So you guys want to talk about the Incredible Hulk, or you want to skip over it?
I love Edward Norton and the Incredible Hulk.
I liked it, but I had issues. So it started out great, and then when it got to oh boy transforming, then it lost me.
The first one or the second one?
In the second one, when Ed Norton was fighting the dude that he smacked him and jacked him up, and then they gave him the injection. What was his name? Abominable or something like that.
I don't remember his name, but go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean,
about.
it got like at that point they went too like extra cartoony with it or something. Something about it was kind of off.
The CGI, you mean?
Yeah, just kind of. I don't know. I think like I liked it. Okay, so the first Hulk movie I liked because I had never thought about the whole thing about his power level, his anger, and him increasing in size. So that was an interesting way for it to go at first, and and I dug the way they showed you a lot of the different aspects of the Hulk character over the years. When they did the second one, I felt like um, it was just it started out good, like I said, and then it just kind of the way it ended was just kind of weak to me. That's just how I felt about it, and that's pretty much all I can say about it. I'm not going to get into a bunch of details on it. Moving on to the next one.
Okay, so the next one we have Iron Man 2 and Thor. Let's switch those into two of them. Iron Man 2 it was rough. We got to see a real dark side of Tony. Like the dark side of the dark side. Like he kind of fell apart. He was falling apart in two.
Because he was dying.
Yeah.
The very thing that was keeping him alive was killing him.
And he was having trouble coming up with how to fix that. And for someone that powerful not to be able to control not even his own life, it was tearing him apart.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on that, Adair?
Well, I thought it was going in a different direction than the story actually went. So, for it to just be him getting sick and dying, and then figuring it out watching his dad's old movies, I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." But I thought the story was taking a different turn. There was a Marvel story where the mucus or whatever that formed around his arc reactor became sentient. So that's the story I thought it was going into. So, but I mean, I like the fact that once he figured everything out, it was a good ending on it. So that's pretty much all I got for that one. I enjoyed it. I like the fact to see somebody who thinks they're the ish and then realizes, oh, I can't figure this out. It's like I figure everything else out, and then they have the revelation. I kind of dug the roller coaster there.
So we're gonna do Thor, and that'll be our last one. And I think maybe we should pick it up next week. We're gonna talk more about the timeline, the Avenger timeline, as we get up to the movie. So we'll do a little bit more of the Avenger timeline next week, and then on the release, we'll do the final timeline all the way up to End Game. So last thoughts on Thor. Me personally, Thor was so generic to me that I thought, okay. I mean, there was nothing special about Thor. I mean, it was funny. The only thing that I found good and awesome about Thor is Loki, and I hung on to that.
And for me, it, like you said, by itself, withstanding, by itself, just Thor, it was very basic. But I tied in with the character development of who he became later. I was happy to see where he started. And where Thor started was pretty much the same place all of Odin's kids seem to start, which is egotistical. Only y'all can do this. Nobody can do it like me. And that's just the way it is. I am Thor, son of Odin, and that's just the way it is. The future king. You gonna do what I say? We gonna do this my way. and that's just it. And Loki, while not as forceful, definitely wanted things his way. And apparently we learned later that Hela really wanted her way. So in the beginning, you find out that Thor starts off as this kind of, egotistical jerk. And his dad was okay with kicking him out for him to understand that he had to be considerate of other people to be a true leader, to be a true king. He had to be a person that cared about his people. It's an act of service. Not that I want to do this at all, but to tie that into what I feel about with religion, with pastors and people in ministry. Hey, you're serving. It's an act of service. You don't get to lord it over everybody. Now, we do honor the service that you give us, but don't be all, I'm not going to bow before you. You're not God. And with Thor, he understood that being king meant something. And it meant more than just your king. It meant that you had a responsibility to other people. So I think that it was good to see him transition from the spoiled little kid in this movie to somebody who got that understanding.
I agree.
All right, and on that note, we are going
to end. I agree. So you took the Hulk and I got Thor. Cool.
So on that note, we're going to end, and sorry about the little noise disturbance that we had. And just then, so we're going to end, and thank you guys for joining us. We will be back next week with a second episode, and we will go in with John Travolta. I love John Travolta. Oh my God.
Which one?
So you must like Saturday Night Fever, huh?
Oh, we're not going to go that far. But we're going to stick to the two movies that I mentioned. Three.
I thought you were going to do Pulp Fiction.
Okay, I'll toss Pulp Fiction in there. I throw you that bone there.
Well, I have a few suggestions that I would love for us to bring in. Frailty is one of my favorite movies. I think we should do that one.
We're gonna have to watch it first, Adair.
Oh my gosh, that one! Oh yeah, you got to watch that. Frailty. It's got Matthew McConaughey in it. It's deep.
We will talk about it.
Okay, so I'll add that to the list. Again, thank you guys for watching. Everybody say your farewells.
Farewell.
Peace out.
You want to send us out on a goofy voice there? I like that.
Okay. Thank you for joining the Fandom Void podcast.
I love it. All right.